Hi Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope for March 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign first, then for your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So I'm going to break March down into 4 weeks. I'm going to pay particular attention to what the moon is doing. I'll see how it supports you, on what days, and in which areas of your life. So week one, or the first 9 days of the month, really, Saturday the 1st until Sunday the 9th of March. On the 1st, we have the moon in Pisces, and that's in your 7th house of relationships. And that follows on from a new moon in Pisces that we had on the 27th of February. I'll make a separate video on that to give you more info. But for you, Virgo, it happens in your 7th house. And on a spiritual level, it gives you really useful and concrete information as far as your relationships are concerned. So if you've been uncertain about certain relationships, you'll gain major clarity on the 27th, 28th, and here also on the 1st of March. 1st of March also sees Venus, the planet of love and beauty, going retrograde until the 12th of April. So it's kind of ironic that you get all this information about relationships before the love planet appears to go backwards, because when Venus is retrograde, it's not a good time to start new businesses or new relationships. And for you, it retrogrades in your 8th house of institutions and the authorities. So particularly when it comes to starting new businesses, new business ventures, hold off on that until the 12th of April if possible. And because the new moon helped you so much in terms of the area of relationship, I think that mitigates Venus's influence being retrograde when it comes to you starting new relationships. So I think you're less influenced by that than the other zodiac signs. On the 2nd and 3rd of March, the moon goes into Aries, and it joins Venus, and it joins Chiron, the wounded healer, also in Aries, in that 8th house. So anything that is already in place, anything that has to do with officialdom, red tape, visa applications, the tax office, paperwork, sending in applications, tend to those on the 2nd and 3rd. You'll be able to make a lot of progress and you'll be able to get those done. Then on the 3rd of March, Mercury, your ruler, that ingresses into Aries, and it hops over from your 7th house of relationships into the 8th as well. And it helps you until the 15th of March when Mercury goes retrograde. It helps you to sort out any of these official areas of your life. So job interviews, applications, submitting manuscripts, selling your TV show, all of those kind of things. First half of the month is really good for that. Then on the 4th and 5th, the moon goes into Taurus, and it moves into your 9th house of travel, education, and the higher realms, and it joins Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and unexpected, also in Taurus. So I think the 4th and 5th, if possible, are 2 days where it's really good for you to go on a trip, to go to places that are unfamiliar, because you'll be inspired and really filled creatively, as in you experience something so interesting, so fascinating, that it then prompts you to express yourself creatively as a result of that experience. On the 6th and 7th, the moon goes into Gemini, and it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet, also in Gemini, in your 10th house of work. So these 2 days are great for you in terms of your career, problem solving in your work, but also anything that requires you to present. So if you're a group leader and you have to get the team informed, it's a great 2-day period for you to put yourself in the spotlight, in the limelight, even if that's not your favorite thing to do. The presentations will go well, and they may even lead to outcomes that are unexpected and really, really positive. On the 8th and 9th, the moon then moves on into Cancer, and it joins your transiting ascendant, Hades and Mars, also in Cancer, in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And these are 2 days which are really about you getting your mojo back. And if there have been certain things that you wanted in the past, where you've been really disappointed, so let's say relationships or a particular type of career, you'll be able to see different ways of approaching those things, picking up those old dreams, dusting them off, trying again, and ultimately having that sense of optimism and hope back that anything is possible and wonderful things can happen. Also on the 8th, it's the best day in the month to see Mercury in the night sky. If you look up, low in the sky in the west, just after sunset, you'll see your ruler Mercury. And it's almost like your ruler is twinkling up there in the sky, saying, hey, don't give up on your hopes and dreams. Don't be downhearted or downcast. Things can happen even if they've failed in the past, and you can have anything that you want in life. Even if there was a negative experience, don't think that that is permanent. Experiences can change, outcomes can change, and ultimately embrace the sense of optimism. You're not being naive by looking at things in a positive way. You are now more informed, you've had more experiences, you may approach those things in a different way, which give you the outcome that you've wanted and have been looking for. So in the first 9 days of the month, the moon starts in your 7th house of relationships and it ends up in your 11th house. So that's pretty much the top half of your chart. So anything that exists in the public sphere, paperwork, travel, job, relationships, and your hopes and dreams around relationships, all of those things are going to be unexpectedly surprising, positive, and the first 9 days are going to leave you with a great sense of optimism, and again, the sense that anything is possible, even if I didn't get it in the past. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 10th to the 16th of March. On the 10th, 11th, and 12th, the moon moves into Leo and it goes into your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So that's wonderful because if you have some sort of faith or some sort of spiritual practice in your life, by engaging with that over this 3-day period, might be a good time for you to go on a retreat or for you to hibernate a little bit and to talk to your guides, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels. It's going to take that sense of optimism and heighten it and take it to the next level where you feel not only am I now more equipped to make wonderful things happen, I've got my guides and my angels working with me, and the universe is supporting me in achieving the things that I want and having a good life experience. And it's the sense that you're not alone in all of this. There's some sort of benevolent higher power that wants you to be happy. On the 13th and 14th, the moon goes into Virgo and it moves into your first house of self. So there's going to be a great sense of well-being and things being as they should be. It opposes a lot of energy in your 7th house of relationships, which is in Pisces. But on the 14th of March, particularly, we have a lunar eclipse on the south node, and it's a full moon in Virgo. So it's a full moon in your sign, and you're going to be showered with your own energy. You're going to feel wonderful. And with this being an eclipse, you'll feel the effects for the next 6 months, so until August. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to detox or to let go of past negative relationship experiences. You'll be able to create this empty space in yourself that you can then fill with positive experiences over the next 6 months. So for you, Virgo, March looks good in terms of your own moods, your own sense of outlook being really, really positive. But then from the 14th of March until August, I really predict that you have a lot of positive experiences as far as your relationships are concerned. Your romantic relationships, relationships with family members, making new friends, colleagues, anybody really. So you've got a majority of this year to look forward to a lot of good stuff happening in that realm of life. On the 15th and 16th, the moon moves on into Libra and it goes into your second house of money and belongings, and it opposes your ruler in the 8th house. So you'll be able to connect with finances, securities, anything official in a very easy and organic way. And you'll be able to make changes to your finances, which mean that you get more out of your money. So whether it's finding a savings account that pays you better, or whether it's going to the boss and asking for a raise and showing up in the perfect way that makes them likely to give you that raise, or whether it's deciding, hey, I have this personal thing that I do in life anyway, free of charge. I might make that a side gig, or I may even start doing that with a view to become self-employed. The 15th and 16th are great for that. On the 15th, though, Mercury, your ruler, it goes retrograde until the 7th of April 2025. And it does that in your 8th house of officialdom and the authorities and institutions. So the key thing is to look at the ideas that you get on the 15th and 16th that encourage you to do something on your own, that takes you away from big employers and corporations, and to be very cautious around paperwork and offers that you get from companies or other people who want to work with you, and to give the majority of your time and attention to the things that you can do by yourself, rather than relying on some sort of big payout in the future that's meant to come from another person or company. So in week 2, the moon starts on the 10th in your 12th house, and then on the 16th it ends up in your 2nd house. So that's the left-hand side of the chart. And the key thing about this second week is to listen to your intuition, your instinct, your gut. You're going to be right about the things that you want to do, and be very cautious around the things that you hear from, again, institutions and companies. It may be that there are other agendas of work that are designed to get you on board, but then not to reward you as promised. Whereas your own gig, your own plans, the things that you can do independently will pay off. So it's important to differentiate between the two and to look at that as night and day. My own stuff versus other people's stuff. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 17th to the 23rd of March. The moon's still in Libra on the 17th. So again, focusing on what you can do on your own. On the 18th and 19th, the moon moves into Scorpio in your 3rd house of communication, and it joins Vesta in Scorpio in your 3rd house. So again, for you, anything that you're being told, you're going to find it very, very easy to differentiate between what's true and what isn't. And also, if you're trying to express something creatively, you'll be able to do your own feelings and your own kind of creative impulse justice by producing work that you're very happy with. But also, it's a good time to come clean about secrets that you've kept. So if you've got something that is just eating away at you, that you've kept secret and that you wanted to share, these 2 days are a good period to kind of rid yourself of that and to share your secrets. I didn't come up with this saying, but some people have said secrets keep you sick. So if there's anything like that where you're like, oh, this is just eating me up inside, when the moon is in Scorpio on the 18th and 19th, that's the best time to unburden yourself from those things. The moon goes into Sagittarius on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, and it goes into your 4th house of your roots and your family. And that's kind of interesting because to me, it says it's a 3-day period that's great for family relationships and being around the people you're closest to. But it also seems like the reward period based on the 2 days prior the 18th and 19th, where you are honest about something, it's likely that the reception is going to be warm, that it brings you closer together with the person or the people who you've shared that secret with, and that the 20th, 21st, and 22nd are days of celebration, and particularly you celebrating that there's no more barrier between you and another person, because that secret is now gone. The power has been taken out of it. On the 20th of March, the sun goes into Aries. It moves into your 8th house of authorities and institutions. So again, we've got Mercury and Venus in retrograde. Anything that's already existing, paperwork, form filling, you'll be able to do that easily, but refrain from starting new businesses and new relationships, and even new formal relationships, as in a new company, a new partnership. If possible, try and leave that after the 7th of April when Mercury goes direct, but ideally after the 12th of April when also Venus goes direct. On the 20th of March as well, we have the spring equinox if you're in the northern hemisphere. It's the autumn equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere, but it doesn't matter where your location is. Either way, it's the time of year when there are nearly equal amounts of daytime and nighttime. So for you to differentiate between what am I coming up with, what's beneficial for me, versus what is going on outside in the world where other people are trying to convince me of what ought to be good for me, really try and see that as black and white, night and day, because your own stuff is going to pay off, whereas it's going to be much less likely that the external stuff pays off. Then on the 23rd, we've got the moon going into Capricorn, and also that extends into week 4, where the moon stays in Capricorn on the 24th of March, and it goes into your 5th house of what you love to do work-wise, but also love and romance, and it's the realm of children, and it opposes Mars in Cancer. So I think this is a great 2-day period for you to get a lot of work done, especially work that you love to do, and to create something new for the first time. So let's say you've had the idea that, sometimes I work with clay and I do pottery, but I've only dabbled. Then this 2-day period is the time to say, do you know what, for the first time, I'm going to make a vase. And you make the vase and you're really pleased with it. So you can discover a really new practical love in that sense. But I think when it comes to relationships with other people, again, I think you may feel that's a little labored and it's a little bit of hard work. What's going to be much easier is self-care and self-exploration. So I'm not saying, Virgo, that you need to be a complete hermit here in March, but I really think the person who's kindest to you and who has your own best interest at heart is you. And because there's such a discrepancy between the external and the internal, I think whenever things are that extreme, that's why you're able to discover all of these new gifts and talents inside of yourself and actually bring them to the surface and work with them. So week 4 then, Monday to Monday, the 24th until the 31st of March, the moon's still in Capricorn on the 24th. Then it moves into Aquarius on the 25th and 26th, and it joins Pallas, which is wisdom, and Pluto, the planet of transformation and change. They're both in Aquarius in your 6th house of daily routine and physical health and the structures of your life. And this is where you can teach yourself something that means that you have more structure in your life, more things that you can rely on, like a good diet, for instance, versus a bad diet, or a daily routine that leaves you feeling refreshed and energized rather than a daily routine where you wake up every morning and you feel groggy and tired. 2 days where you can really be of service to yourself by adopting new ways of operating on a day-to-day basis and implementing that into your routine. On the 27th and 28th, the moon goes back into Pisces and it goes into your 7th house of relationships. And here I think everything is kind of quiet on the Western front as far as relationships are concerned. You've got Jupiter and Uranus on the top of your chart. So I think this is a 2-day period where you can do a lot of great work in your existing career, but also you can work on something on your own, your side gig, something that you're trying to develop into your own business. On the 27th, Venus, because it's retrograde, it ingresses back into Pisces. And on the 29th, Mercury, your ruler, does the same thing. It's retrograde and it re-enters Pisces. And they both go into your 7th house of relationships. So the key thing is to look at what you have control over, what you can do yourself, and really excel in that. When it comes to what you're being told or what you're being promised by other people, to be very, very cautious around that. On the 29th and 30th, the moon moves into Aries and it goes into your 8th house of institutions and authorities. And not only that, on the 29th of March, we have a solar eclipse on the North Node, and it's a new moon in Aries. The effects of eclipses can be felt for 6 months, so you'll feel this until August. And I think you're the one sign that is immune to Mercury being retrograde and Venus being retrograde because of this eclipse happening in Aries in your 8th house. And what I would recommend, and you're the only sign of the zodiac I'm saying this to, if you have an idea to start your own business, and this may be controversial, let me know in the comments, or to start your own company or your own corporation or to register with Company House, I think it's the perfect day to do it and to then grow your business over the next 6 months, because I think that eclipse happening in your 8th house mitigates, if not even negates, the influence of Venus and Mercury, and you can build something that completely transforms your working life and build something that's totally something of your own that you have complete control over and where it makes you completely independent. Finally, on the 31st, the moon goes into Taurus, and that's in your 9th house. And I think that's a good day for you to celebrate and to travel and to do something that's completely outside of your comfort zone, just to celebrate the fact that you've given a birthday to a company or your own business on the 29th and 30th. And I think the 31st is a day for celebration and to just reward yourself and pat yourself on the back. What I didn't mention as well, that on the 30th of March, Neptune, which has been in Pisces, the sign it rules for a long time, it goes into Aries and it joins your transiting midheaven and your sun and Chiron, also in Aries, in that 8th house. And I really think if you're a Virgo who's had the dream to start a business or a career of your own, this is the month to make that happen for yourself. And guys, please do let me know in the comments, because I'm the first person to say that when Venus is retrograde, don't start a new business or a new relationship, let alone when Venus and Mercury are retrograde. And for Virgo, Mercury is its ruler. The reason I'm saying that, as I'm repeating that info, is because I think you're able to think in ways which are totally different, and you're able to overcome your own self-doubt or your own self-censorship or the things that have repressed you to the point where you do have something super valuable inside of you that you could build into something public. And it's these retrogrades that actually allow you to jump over those hurdles and to do what you're meant to do. That's why I think astrology is so interesting, because things can mean different things. And even during retrogrades, I think they can be helpful in allowing us to see things in a completely different way. And in this case, for you, Virgo, in March, it's very, very positive. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise. but that's not ideal because the ascendant will be off and the house placements will be off. There's a process called chart rectification where I can work out your time of birth. I need 10 significant life events in order to do that. So not I graduated high school, that's not significant enough. Like something that had an impact on your life, who you are, something really personal, right? Then I can work out your time of birth. Once I have that, it's like a blueprint of who you are. It shows me vocational aptitudes, relationships, strengths, weaknesses, life purpose, spiritual development. To see what's coming up in future, look at your progress chart, your transits. If it's around your birthday, also draw up solar return charts. And if you're interested in seeing how different parts of the world, different actual locations work for you, there's a process called chart rectification and not chart rectification, astrocartography, where I can see how different parts of the world impact you and which ones will support you and which ones won't. So if you're interested in any of that, please get in touch for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. It helps us show up in searches. Subscribe for more videos in future. And if you think anyone would be interested in this video, then please share it with them. That's what helps the channel grow. Hope you have a fabulous March, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.